Now we're going to go to example number 1. We're going to take some of those ideas that we used in the opening exercise. We're going to apply that language of opposites and absolute value to compare coordinates and points on the coordinate plane. The directions say locate and label your points on the coordinate plane to the right. For each given pair of points in the table below, record your observations and conjectures in the appropriate cell. Pay attention to the absolute values. I want you to underline that. You want you to pay attention to the absolute values of the coordinates and where the points lie in reference to each axis. Now I'm going to do one set of points here, and we're going to put the answers in the column. I'm going to do 3 and 4, compare it with negative 3 and 4, and then you guys are going to use these points to finish off those columns once you see that how we did it. So I'm going to first plot 3, 4, and then negative 3, 4 in the coordinate plane. So I'm going to be comparing the coordinates and the location of those 2 points. I'm going to start by talking about the similarities of the coordinates. Now, when we talk coordinates, we're talking ordered pair. We want to look at just the ordered pair. We want to forget about the points for the time being. We just want to focus on 3, 4 and negative 3, 4. We can see that they do have some similarities. First of all, the second coordinate, or the y coordinate, I'm going to abbreviate. Those are the same. Both of the y coordinates are 4. But there's also a similarity between the x coordinates, the first coordinate, the 3 and the negative 3. The x coordinates have the same absolute value. I'm going to go into the other boxes, so I'm running out of room. Now, if we look at the differences in the coordinates, we can see that the x coordinates are different. The x coordinates are opposites. Now, if we talk about the similarities in location, we're going to be looking at where those 2 points lie. We're going to compare the similarities to each axis. And if we look at it, we can see that both points are the same distance above the x-axis. You can see that both points, both 4 points above x-axis. There's also a similarity between their locations and the y-axis. Notice they're the same distance from the y-axis here. Okay, so they're both 3 spaces from the y. Now for the differences in the locations, we can see obviously that they are on different sides of the y-axis. So we can say one point is left and one is right of y-axis. Now, those locations have a relationship. We would say that those points, if you talk about where this point is right here, if we would flip it over the y-axis, you would end up in the location where the second point is. They mirror each other. That y-axis acts like a mirror. So we would say that those 2 points are symmetric over the y-axis. They're flipped over the y. One point can be flipped over the y-axis to get to the point on the second. Now what I would like you guys to do is next take a look at the next points, 3, 4, and I'm going to put it in green this time, 3, 4, and 3, negative 4. You guys are going to go through there and tell me the similarities in their coordinates and their locations, just like I did. And then the last set of points would be at 3, 4, we'll make it blue, and negative 3, negative 4. And talk about the similarities and differences between the coordinates and locations of those points.